Two. All right, y'all. Welcome to another edition of the PETx Podcast, where we share real advice, real stories, real strategies for pet industry success. We are your hosts, Wayne, TeLisa, and Lita, and our goal is to build better pet businesses, one conversation at a time.
Hey
Y'all like it?
y'all, what's up? What's
Hey.
up?
Ah! All right, here we go. All right, there we go. There we go. All right. Good morning, ladies. How are y'all doing today?
Doing good. I'm doing great. Abundant. How are you?
I'm
Oh,
doing all right.
amen to abundant.
Yes,
Abundant is a good,
it
yeah. Okay.
is.
See, when Lita texts me rich risings, I'll be like wealthy awakenings.
I'm like, I
I
love
want,
that.
Period. Receive
I
that.
love that.
Receive
Because we're
that each
not
and every
mourning.
morning.
Yeah, we're
no,
not
yeah, we're
mourning.
not,
You know what I mean?
no,
That's why I don't say
absolutely.
that no more. It's because like words are affirmations. So if I say good morning to you every morning, we're not mourning. We up. We
No,
happy.
that is
For real.
so true.
Yep.
So true. All right, well,
Yeah.
ladies, today we are going to get into a question that I feel like petpreneurs would ask, or people who are in the pet industry, because I mean, what really drives us to owning a business and starting a business is passion. Like, we have a passion for pet care, so we found something that we enjoy doing in the pet care space, and that passion for it keeps us going because, as we all know, times get hard, things get difficult, and each day we wake up and do the same thing all over again with the hopes and prayers and dreams and everything that keeps us going, that it gets better, right?
Yeah.
So, well, one, is that insanity? Because like, we are we
It
insane?
is small
Are we
kind.
insane?
Yeah.
Yeah, just a little bit.
I was gonna say that definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results.
Yeah.
Because yeah. So all right. So then every day we expect, or we receive
Right. Different results.
different
Hopefully.
results.
Eventually.
Hopefully, at some point, our goal is to,
Yes.
not have those not so great moments as often.
Yeah.
But is passion enough for in entrepreneurship?
Mm.
That's the question. Is passion enough? Is passion that one thing that you just need as an entrepreneur to just keep going, and figure out, what is the real backbone, of success in this industry?
Yeah. Um, I mean, I'll go first to Lisa if you
Yeah, no,
want.
go ahead.
Either one. I feel like no. The answer is no.
Hmm.
Or yes and no. I would say yes and no. The reason why I would say both is because I feel like in starting a business, you have to have enough passion to push it forward, right? To want to pursue your industry, to want to, educate yourself, to want to be professional, to want to grow. You do have to have the passion for whatever you're doing at first. It has to make you feel good. You got to want to wake up and do it and not feel like you're working a job, you know?
Sure.
So yes, at first. But in order to advance in the pet industry and to grow your pet business, no. It's not enough. There's so many different things that go into a pet business to make it successful, from customer service to the employees to the setup of your business, to shoot, just capital to grow. You know what I mean? Like there's the list goes on and on. So it's like you definitely need other elements to that. And you can tell when somebody is maybe just working off of passion and they're starting to experience what we call burnout and the passion is no longer
That,
there. Yep.
yeah, no,
Hmm.
you said that right there. We'll definitely get into that. Go ahead, Talisa.
Yes.
I'm gonna just piggyback off of Lita and say that it is simply not enough.
Hmm.
Just to blow the dust off my math brain, I would say comfortably it's probably like 15%.
Cool. Yeah.
Passion is probably like 15% of what
Yeah.
you need to make it happen.
Yeah.
Because most of what you need to make it happen is education.
Hmm.
You don't necessarily have to go to school for that education, but you
Mhm.
need to know how to operate a business
Mhm.
Right.
because there are so many people out here who have the passion. Oh, I want to do this. I want to do this. And then they go out here and do it, but they're doing it illegally because they haven't done any of the paperwork. They're not filing taxes, even though this is all the money they have made throughout the year. They're
Literally.
flying under the radar.
Mhm.
Um, I know people who have been grooming for years, want to get out here on their own, don't know how to build a clientele. Like, I love that you love what you do, but
Hmm.
if you don't know how to do it efficiently, what are
Mhm.
we doing here? So
Right.
For sure.
no, loving it is not enough.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
Enjoying what you do when you wake up every morning is not enough. In the
Yeah.
words of Kendrick Lamar, it's not enough.
Right.
It's not. And I agree 100%. So like even with when you just said you can tell when people are just operating out of passion, because they are bright-eyed and bushy-tailed every day. Like,
Grooming
oh,
at three
I get
o'clock in the morning.
yeah.
Ain't
Still
that the
right. Still
truth?
answering clients at after hours. You
Yo.
don't have any systems in place. Like you're just out
Yes.
here just winging it. Like I
I'm
love
happy to be
everybody.
here.
Everybody is great. I take on
Yes.
all the clients. I do everything for everybody. I was operating out of passion for at least a good maybe 2, 3 years.
Yeah.
And the passion, I mean, I'm not gonna say like I have less passion now than then, but I have a lot more street smarts now than I did then. Like
Right.
entrepreneurship definitely teaches you a lot when it comes to what you accept, what you don't accept, how to navigate, how to communicate, how to have patience, what to work on, what doesn't work, all of this, right? And passion simply just says, I love what I do,
Yeah.
but the rest is learn as you go,
Yeah.
and from there it was just like, all right, I had a lot to learn because
Yeah.
I didn't have systems in place. I didn't know how to communicate certain things. I didn't know what to expect or how to handle certain situations or how to build a team or how what it all entails being an entrepreneur, because I knew that I love working with animals.
Yeah.
So everybody thinks that it's easy, and that's where the passion is. The passion is the easy thinking, like, oh, I'm just gonna walk a dog, or I'm just gonna train a dog, I'm just gonna groom, and give a dog a bath, cut its nails, and take on all of the clients and stuff. And then you start to feel yourself, like you said, getting that burnout because you're
Hmm.
working so much and doing so much, and you're not strategizing your business. Like you're
And your
not adding
time.
these strategies and
Yeah.
organizing and putting yourself in a position to where it's like, all right, well, what are my goals here? Because I can have passion for pet care, I can have passion for entrepreneurship and business and everything that we're doing, but what are my goals here? Because I'm overworking myself just working in passion. And I
Yeah.
need to figure out strategies to separate a little bit and kind of just pull back the reins a little bit, because
Yeah.
you got to trust people to keep your business going.
You do. No, I feel like I 100% agree with you. I feel like, you know, I feel like I was operating out of passion also, like maybe the first year or two. Because I remember also wanting to post on social media, and that's how you know when you're like posting all the time and you're like, yeah, look guys, look what I'm doing. Book me, like when you
Look what
start
I can
doing
do.
that, you feeling good. You know what I mean? Like you're ready to like get out there and show your face.
Hmm.
But when you start to feel like that passion deteriorating because maybe the funds aren't right anymore, or maybe life is just lifing, your personal life starts to mix into your business, so you're like, oh my
Hmm.
God, I'm starting to feel it, um or you're just overworked, you're taking anybody and everybody because you're excited. I'm an entrepreneur now, and like that dude said, I got an LLC, like you proud that you have made it to that level,
Hmm.
and then you're like, oh shoot, I gotta do some other stuff, and I probably shouldn't take this client that is 45 minutes away from my house, and I probably shouldn't spend, you know what I mean, like $500 on shampoo every month, or I probably shouldn't pay this employee way more than what she's even worth before she even proves it to me. Like there's all
Yeah.
these different factors you start to realize, like, oh, okay, now I'm using and abusing myself. And
Yeah.
that passion starts to run out when you're abusing who you are for real as an entrepreneur. Like, people have to
For
respect
sure.
your time. And that's just what it is. It boils down to. So that's why
But in
passion's not enough.
But in the
Yeah.
beginning, you don't care about all that.
Oh, you don't care about that.
I just want to get my name out there. Okay. I just want, and and that got me to thinking because like in the beginning, I would go over to anybody's house. I would be
Yep.
driving around the city,
I remember.
grooming everybody's dog. I didn't care what who had what did what, who didn't have what. I was just like, you know what, let me go ahead and do what I got to do to build up my business. It
Yeah.
did overexhaust me for
Oh
sure
yeah.
because I got tired of it.
Yeah.
Everybody did not live the same. Everybody's houses were not the same.
Yeah.
Listen.
Like when I was doing home calls, yeah, no, I
Yeah.
definitely got over that really, really quickly. And I mean, I knew that I had passion for the creative side of pet care and like
Yeah.
just pet care in itself, right?
Yeah.
But it was just like, all right, I need to do now you get into this mindset of I need to do what's best for the business and what's best for me as a solopreneur at this point.
Yeah.
And now we got some strategies into place. Now we
Yeah.
got to implement some rules and regulations and service agreements
Boundaries.
and boundaries. There we go.
That's
Boundaries.
it. Yeah.
That right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For real, it's real. For real. I mean,
What,
it's like one of those things.
what you about to say, Lisa?
Um, I'm huge on boundaries. Like
I
I
hear
be
that.
on the internet crashing out over boundaries.
Yeah. No, for real, same. I was just arguing
I
in the comments too yesterday with
and
somebody.
it and it's so funny because Wayne finally like recently heard me actually interact face to face with one of my clients or and a potential client, and he was like, "Oh, you're so nice." I was like, "Yeah, it's only on the internet. I'm unprofessional. I don't care what these internet folks think. They're not paying my bills."
That
No,
part.
for real.
That part. Seriously. I
But it's
literally
such a
be in the
nice,
comments.
friendly tone. What?
Yes.
I know how
Yeah.
to turn it off, turn it on, call us when.
Same.
It's what we
I
do.
Yep. No, seriously. Seriously. I,
But
I literally was I was in the comments yesterday. There was this post, this girl was like, she she felt bamboozled because this girl, she asked for $1,000 custom dress for prom, right?
Mhm.
And she ended up finding out that the prom dress was a remake of a Temu dress that was $100. So I commented as an entrepreneur. I said, I'll knock the girl's hustle.
me neither.
Because
Yeah.
if you didn't do your research and your due diligence, there's lots of companies out here that are doing that. You know what I mean? It's called
Mhm.
wholesaling. So they can charge whatever, it's their business. And then
Yeah.
that, I feel like this kind of ties into what we're talking about today. Like, it's your business. You are in control of your business. And that's why passion is not enough, because you have to, when you get to that point, you start to realize I'm in control of my business, and these clients cannot tell me how to run my business.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And it's like, if I decide to charge 3 times of what I charged last year, that ain't none of your business. That's my business because it's my business. Like, if I feel like I'm worth that because I've evolved over time, I invested in myself,
Hmm.
I grew, I had to take losses. You know what I mean? I grinded for a whole 12 months. I deserve that. And I'm gonna charge 3 times what I charged last year.
Yeah.
And
For
I
real.
mean, you have to, and you
Hmm.
definitely have to because some of the and it says here is like some of the common traps with operating out of passion, right? Is undercharging, overworking, and emotional burnout.
Mm.
And that is 100% true. Like I
Yes.
remember, I still feel like I'm not charging enough, um, even after some time. And, even with that, it's like, all right. how do I get to a place now? Because you're basically digging yourself out of that hole that you put yourself in the beginning because you were just operating out of passion and not being smart with business.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, it's a realization. Like you have to, because in the beginning we want to charge lower, we want to, work our way up to
Yeah.
increase our value and things like that, rather
We
than
feel bad.
start
Yeah.
right. Me,
Hmm.
because it's like, well, should I start off with charge you $150 and I literally just started? So, you want to be like, do I give $150 worth of service and value before I charge you that? Or is it like I give you $100 worth of value and then work my way up over time to 150? The
Yeah.
more I work and I learn and I get continued education and things like that.
Right.
So it's like, how do we inspire those who, I mean, and of course it does come with having a support system, being well educated,
Hmm.
understanding your value and things like that. So how do we, as those that have been in there in this industry for so long, inspire those or educate those who may just be beginning, and then of course they feel that burnout, because I feel like that's partially why I'm not on the road anymore and things just have gotten to where they are, because I felt overwhelmed doing what I did in that level. So
Hmm.
then it was just like, all right, well, what else can I do? Because I'm always like, well, what else can I do?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to feel like I'm doing so much of one thing that it gets me burnt out. And my cousin called it a trauma response a few
It
weeks
is.
ago.
It is.
And and I mean, I get it,
Hmm.
because I'm like, all right, well, what else? I gotta stay busy. There's
First of
always
all, I'm
something
gonna
to
turn
do.
off TeLisa's screen. I'm gonna turn her off. I'm just gonna turn her
I
off.
am too. I am too. But it was like, even, I mean, that's a whole nother conversation.
Right.
But
No, but
I
I
just
feel
think it's
you.
crazy that Wayne is learning stuff about himself on the internet. On the internet.
But we've been telling him for years.
Like the last episode, he
uh,
found out he was type A.
Right. Oh yeah.
This episode, this episode, he found out he having trauma responses for
Yes.
entrepreneurship.
Every episode he's gonna find out something different after he watched another podcast.
He gonna be throwing the ring light across the room by the end of the month.
Yo,
stress,
for real.
stressing me out. I'm
It's
just trying to do my best out here.
it's only because we women, Talisa. That's why. And that if homeboy came on the screen and was like, "Yo, Wayne, look, my boy, you got to do X, Y, Z." Oh, he would have listened to them. You know what I mean?
Listen, I take opinions and criticism. One thing that I have learned is not responding to just respond. So like my level
That's
of,
good.
all right, I need to process the information. I get what you're saying, and I'm going to acknowledge what you're saying. But as far as like the responding part, we're responding in a way that I'll take your opinions, I'll take your criticism, I'll take whatever, but it's just a matter of, all right, well, what's the end goal here?
Yeah.
What
What's the
what are
solution?
what's the solution?
Yeah.
Let's move on. Life moves on,
Yeah.
right? And so, like, with just saying, you need to do this and you need to do that, I'm like, bro, I, when people say, oh, I became an entrepreneur, I became a business owner because I didn't want people telling me what to do. I'm like, bro,
That's
you will
all
have so
entrepreneurship
many
is,
people.
bro.
So
That's
many
it.
people. Your
That is
clients tell you what
literally
to
it.
do.
Everybody's telling you what to do. And you have
For
to just
real.
listen. And you
Yeah.
pick from everybody's, this is
Yeah.
what you need to do. You pick which one works for you.
Yeah.
And people don't get that.
Yeah.
It literally said, all right, so you run a business, you start a business because you love what you do,
Hmm.
but then you weren't taught the business side. Like this is the business side of everything.
Yeah. Two different
Yeah.
levels. Hmm.
Two
I
totally different.
honestly, I'm glad that you said that because I feel like most people in the pet industry, I feel like that's what sets us apart from a lot of other different industries is a lot of other different industries put an emphasis on the business side of things, right?
Yeah.
But in the pet industry, I feel like we be so focused on the pets and the pet people that we
Yeah.
forget that side. And then that all comes together. And then
Is
that's
there
why,
stressful
yeah, and that our businesses aren't growing because that's why. We're saying we've been doing the same 100 clients or whatever
Yeah.
clients
And I
you've been doing for
I
20
love my
years.
clients and I don't want to lose them, but I'm also about to put my home in foreclosure because I can't afford it.
They
Or
about
I
to jump
gotta
out
go
the
to the
balcony.
chiropractor and get I gotta go to the chiropractor and get surgery, or I gotta go to, my neck hurts, my feet hurt, my ankles hurt, my joints hurt.
Yo, that's so real. I'll never forget the day I came into my sister's house, and I remember this conversation clearly. It's probably like, I don't know, this time it was probably like year five I was in. And I was grooming dogs, or not grooming dogs, I was just actually doing nail trims, mobile nail trims. And I remember laying on her floor and crying because my back was hurting so bad. And I was just
Mhm.
overworking myself. And I was telling her to give me the Advil, to give me some Epsom salt in the bathtub, the whole nine. And I'll never forget, she looked down at me that day and she said, "Sis, you got to work smarter, not harder." She's
Yeah.
like, "You got to figure it out." She's like, "Either you need to train somebody, you need some help, an assistant, something." She was like, "But you can't keep doing this to yourself. You're just getting older." And
Mm.
that I'll never forget that conversation. Like I know that my body isn't built to keep moving like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like and so when I see like 50-year-old groomers, no offense to anybody that's 50 or plus, but I applaud you
Um,
because I'm like, what
we
is
we
your
talked about the
secret?
old people already.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
Yeah,
okay.
sorry.
I've offended them enough. There's
we
nothing you can say.
I'm
at this
sorry.
point, why are y'all still grooming? Like
Why?
I get, and I think they have more passion than, like
Hell of a
they have
lot.
more passion than business side, right? Like I love what I do, but that's the only thing that I'm going to do, you
Right.
know? And I'm trying to carefully how to say it because I'm trying to figure out what the right words would be, but it's like me, I am very passionate about pet care. I'm very passionate about like providing resources for business and pet professionals, things like that, and giving back and all of the things, right?
Mhm.
However, I am not going to be doing this all my life.
Mhm.
Like I'm doing what I can right now to build up systems and a structure to where it takes care of my lifestyle and my family and everything for generations, right? I'm doing everything that I can to provide for that, but I'm not gonna be grooming past 40, 45, 50 years old.
No.
Like y'all
Uh-uh.
right. I'm teaching at that point because at
Yes.
some point I feel like if you've done something long enough, you should be
Hmm.
teaching other people how to do it rather
Definitely.
than still doing it yourself. You should be inspiring the next generation of groomers or the next generation of pet sitters and dog walkers and entrepreneurs in the pet care space
Hmm.
because I know you're tired. I
Yes.
know. Yeah,
Yes.
I'm tired. I know you're tired.
I'm tired looking at
Okay.
you.
So it's just like,
Sorry.
but yes, we definitely have talked about
Yeah, like it's just too much. It's like,
grooming for 25, 80 years. Why?
and you know what? When you really think about it, you're like, is that a flex or it's not a flex? It's really not. It's not a flex. Like I know your body hurts. I
Yeah.
know your body hurts.
To say you've been in the industry that long is a flex, but to say you've been
Yes,
doing the same thing you've been doing since you got in the industry is not.
it's
Yeah.
not.
There's no growth there. Like, and I think like that's my thing. Cause I'm like, all right, because me personally, ain't no passion here no more at all. Like, the passion for
That's very
me is
honest.
on
Passion
I
is
feel like
zero
gone.
percent. Okay.
I
If
feel
it
like
could be
it's
less, it
real.
would be.
Yeah.
Um, and I've gotten to a point now where I'm like, how do people keep doing this when they lost the love? Because now it just
Yeah.
feels like work.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And I'm like, okay, it's been 5 years. What's next? So
Mm.
I don't understand how people do this for 20 years because I've been
Yeah.
doing it for 5 and I'm ready to,
Yeah.
what's next? So what can I do?
Yeah.
How can I
Exactly.
entertain my creativity in pet care without just giving all of this up.
Yeah.
I got on Instagram not too long ago. It was in my stories and was like, I want to hang up my shears and learn how to do hoof trimming.
No, for
I want to
real.
learn how to coat carve.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So,
Like,
just I think feeding the beast that is inspiration would help.
yeah.
Do you feel like so you enjoy grooming, but all you're doing is grooming dogs? Would you feel like you said, getting into horses, would that be something that may still spark that fire that you love doing what you do, but just trying it on something else? And the only reason I ask that is because I forgot what I was listening to or watching. But it was like, and this is the topic is definitely spot on because I was listening to another, it had to be another podcast, right? To where they were talking about you're doing something that you love to do and you feel like you love doing it and you're called to do it and you can't imagine yourself doing anything else at this point in time in life. But what you're doing currently, you feel overwhelmed or stressed or, just not fulfilled.
Yeah.
So imagine doing something different, but in the same area,
Right.
and then maybe that's what you were called to do, but you
Right.
found what you were doing at first easy to do at that point in time. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. For me personally, grooming in general was always just a stepping stone to get into the industry
Hmm.
because I didn't want to get in on the medical side. That seems to be the route that people
A lot of
take.
people think, yeah.
Everybody.
Hmm.
Everybody.
Just go to school for some animal pet medicine situation,
Yeah.
and then you're in the industry because you have the degree or the certification or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Um, and I didn't want to do all that. So I did grammar school, and it was my way into the industry because people won't just hire you off the street to do anything,
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. That's facts.
anything
Yeah.
without experience in pet care.
Hmm.
So now it's just a matter of figuring out what it is that I want to do long term in this industry now that I'm here.
Yeah.
And I'm
Time to
like,
pivot.
right.
Yeah.
It's it's I don't like doing the same thing over and over and over again. Like that was the thing with bartending. Like
Yeah.
I enjoyed I enjoyed the job until I felt like I was making the same drinks, seeing the same people, saying the
Yeah.
same thing.
Hmm.
And with grooming, it's the same teddy bear, shortcut during the summertime. Oh,
Right.
leave it a little longer in the winter. It's the exact same haircut. It's a
Sure.
half-inch comb during the winter. It's a 4 or 5 during the summer.
Yeah. That.
Shave down with the sevens for the matted dogs with the little round teddy bear head. Nobody wants breed cuts anymore on their dogs because they don't want to maintain the coat. Fine. I
Yeah.
spent a year and a half learning how to do breed cuts. The only one I do is a schnauzer.
Right. Nobody wants to. Nobody wants to pay for it. Yeah, but
Yeah.
no, I feel that. Well, I mean, do you feel like it's just time to add like another, like maybe like Wayne said, like teach somebody how to groom, they work for you, right? And then you add another stream of income onto your business, or do you want to pivot completely and not do grooming anymore?
I have a trailer that's paid for, so grooming will be a service until
Okay, until it's paid off. Yeah, that
until
makes
I
sense.
burn that trailer to the ground.
Yeah, no,
Uh,
that makes sense. Yeah. So
'Cause
I
add
think
another
one day I
stream of
feel like
income.
I'm gonna hate my life enough to where I'm just gonna Angela Bassett the trailer, you know?
Or just sell it and make some
let's
money off it.
not do that. No, I
Yeah.
will say, feel like, go touch the grass.
I'll
Yeah.
be touching
You know,
grass.
go touch some grass, go play with some horses. See, be in that area, because like even with that, I feel like going into 'Cause I guess it's like or farm animal. Yeah, farm animal.
I be watching
Large
too many
animal.
Like it would
YouTube
be cool.
videos. That's the problem. I binge
Yeah.
watch hoof trimming videos, cows specifically.
Yeah, no, that's big money. You
I
know what
don't
I mean?
know why that gets me where I want to be in life, but
Right. The only thing
hoof
is, I
trimming
feel like it's kind
videos
of
do it for
far.
me every time.
Yeah, you would have to. Yeah, you would have to do some traveling
That's the
to
only
these
thing, the
farms and
driving
stuff
part.
like that. But
Yeah,
you make enough money in one day
you
to
do.
justify, and the
One
work
a
that you
day.
do to justify. That's
Yeah,
for real.
yeah.
Um, you know what, Talisa, you just saying that literally because you know what the other goal is,
Yeah,
right? You
we ain't
know
gonna
what
talk about
the
that on the
yeah,
internet.
no, no, no. But you know what the other goal
In
is.
case it don't
But
happen, we ain't gonna talk about
but but being on land,
yeah.
like stepping stones. But
Yeah.
you know, I'm here for it.
Or
You
just
know,
adding pet sitting. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
Because pet sitting,
Um,
one thing I can say is it's not the same thing every day. You know what I mean? It's different things. People need different needs for their pets. You might run
mhm.
into
mhm,
somebody that just needs, you know what I mean? Hey, come feed my cat. And then tomorrow you have a dude that be like, hey, come walk my dog. But then this dog needs you to run it. You know what I mean? Like it's different
yeah,
every day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Um, I have my dad like low key pet sitting
Hmm.
for me. Like I'll have some clients that be like, "Do you know anybody who boards?" I'll do it. I'll do it.
Don't
hmm
say no to the money.
Right,
No,
I'll do
no to the
it.
coin. Right.
But as far as like saying, "Oh, T3 is boarding,"
You don't want to open that door. It is a lot of
because my
responsibility. I will
daddy.
say
Let me
that.
let me tell you how my daddy do. Like
Yeah.
during the holiday season, everybody traveling, so they want pet sitting. So the pet
Yeah.
sitting will be busy during the holiday. And then as soon as the new year over, he like, I don't want to see no dog for the next 3 months.
That's how I go. That's
Yes,
how I used to
makes
be.
sense.
Yeah.
Did
sir.
anybody? Did y'all move anything in the basement?
Nah, ain't nothing down there.
See, there's cages all down there. That's
Yeah.
where
Ain't nothing down there.
the cage.
Yeah.
I mean,
You got the shower, you got the cage room, y'all got the half kitchen. It's a perfect little setup to me.
to
Still
you.
a lot of responsibility,
To me,
Talisa. He's making it sound so simple, and it's
to
not.
me.
It's a lot of responsibility, a lot of your time taken up. Clients
Yeah,
think they
no,
run you
absolutely.
because they said they was gonna land at 9 o'clock. They really gonna be landing at midnight. So now you waiting around for the client, or they got to pick up tomorrow morning.
Oh no, we
It
hiring folks.
it's
We hiring people at this point, babe. Like I
still a lot of
have gotten to
responsibility.
the point now where I'm just like, look, I get doing the work and I enjoy doing most of the work, but I would definitely opt for training and just teaching people how to do what I do. Now it's frustrating because now these same people have to uphold the same quality
That's the part.
and work ethic and
Mhm.
just mannerisms and uh just traits that I've worked hard to uphold, like but I also, you have to understand, like, everybody is not going to, but your
Yep.
job as the leader is to try to get them as close as possible.
Hmm.
And it is what it is. It is what it is. But um, yeah, it's getting to that point in time where I'm just like, all right, let's get somebody in here to help me, you know. And that's where the handbook and the SOPs and everything came in. But it's time to start getting extra hands on what we're doing
Yeah.
and seeing how that transition goes. Because I mean, you can't grow your business if you're just going to do the same thing over and over and over, And I think a lot of us, we get so the word that I want to use is complacent, but or comfortable
Comfortable.
with
Yeah.
where the level where we're at. But we do, aspire to do more and we want to grow bigger and things like that. It's just the small inkling, that level of fear that kind of just be like, all right, if I let somebody else do it, they're not going to do it the way that I do it. Or what if this goes wrong? Or what if that goes wrong? And
Yeah.
honestly, we just
It
have to get to a
happens.
point where it happens. It's okay.
Yeah. It's
You
nothing
know?
you can do to avoid that. I mean, that's happened to me so many times with some pretty big clients, especially here in Atlanta. I hate when it happens because some of these clients, I'd be like, do you know who they were? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they tapped into 12 different other people like them, you know? So, and it happens and it sucks when it does happen. But that's a part of business. Failure
Hmm.
is a part of business, and I feel like you have to be able to pivot and move on and just know how to learn from each individual lesson.
Hmm.
Um because it's going to happen. But
Yeah.
I feel like feel like pivoting in your business, like the most successful entrepreneurs know how to pivot and not afraid to pivot. Because I've had to pivot so many different times. It's crazy, especially imagine pivoting in different states.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like I had to literally pick up and start over. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Yeah, like that's not easy, you know? So it's you just gotta do it one different, one day at a time and just network. That's why Petlanta is so powerful because man, if I didn't know how to network, my passion would have been gone a long time ago. I probably would have gave up because
Hmm.
I wouldn't think that I had enough, clients or endurance to keep going, to keep bringing in the income, the revenue in order to do it, like
For
for
sure.
real. It's so important. So just one of those things. Yeah.
And and I know we're running short on time, and that was probably like a good place to end the episode when she brought up Pet Lena.
Right.
But I do
We
wanna
got a few more minutes.
I do want to go back real quick to Lita asking me about training somebody. And I had someone working with me, and both of y'all know who this person is. And one of my clients asked me, was she on heroin?
Okay. It's time to end the
I
live.
can't like I can't leave you with my clients if they think you're on heroin.
Yo.
Yeah. And you know,
No, I can continue.
we and you know what's crazy? What's crazy? We
So
still get
finding the
like,
groomer to do the job is a little harder.
yeah, residuals from that. Like they still be like, please remember, don't cut the bridge of the nose, okay? Still, still,
What?
Talisa, still, okay? Months and months later, please remember, just not too much off right there. And I just be like, okay. I just laugh and I just like, dang.
Look at Lita.
the
Goodness. This is,
the
I
ripples, it's
mean,
still rippling out here in these streets. No, all right. Well, all right. Last question before we do head out, right? Last question. What is one business lesson you wish you learned earlier? Just real quick.
Man, come out the gate swinging. Come out the gate
Yeah.
swinging.
yeah,
Like, go
Facts.
ahead and set yourself up for success. Come out
definitely.
swinging.
Yeah. Um, be prepared.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like so many times they tell you like don't, you know, don't have everything set up or have everything set up first or whatever. Which I feel like is important, but you have to be prepared that everything is not going to go right.
For sure.
People think
Learn.
that people think that entrepreneurship is perfect. There's nothing perfect about it, and I feel like somebody should have told me that in the beginning. Because when I got my first bad review, I fell apart. I thought
Yeah.
I was the worst entrepreneur ever. I'm like, what kind of boss am I? I got a bad review.
At
Like,
this
who?
point, it's like,
Not me. It happens. Be prepared that everybody is not going to like you.
mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I feel like something that I wish someone had taught me beforehand would be, I mean, y'all hit it, but having don't overstretch yourself trying to
Hmm.
make it work.
Stretch
You
yourself
know,
thin. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, don't stretch yourself then trying to
Mhm.
make it work, right?
Yep.
Again, I was driving all over the city and I was doing so much, but if
Nah,
I
you
feel
was
like if
driving all
I
over the
had
state, bro. Be honest.
all over the state, all right, but I feel like
He
if
was
I
in
just really,
Cartersville.
yeah,
He
it
was in
was,
Douglasville.
He was like an hour and a half. He was in
Listen,
Columbus.
he went from state line to state line to
He
state
was in
line.
Alabama at this point.
He
room
was
and
five
dog.
minutes from Florida.
Look, man, passion said go make your money. Okay? Passion said go make all your money.
I see
And you
But
was
that.
doing that. You was doing that for sure.
but the
You was
business
getting your
side
paper.
was like, yeah, yeah, and I wish, it was just don't come up with the right systems, come up with the right
Yeah.
organization, come up, have a true support team because that was another thing as well, is like just getting into all of this, you don't really have a support system
Mm-mm.
because one, your family already thinks that pet care is not something that's going to
Real.
really sustain you or a
Hmm.
real career path. But
Yep.
having people who are in it or people who see the value in it, those they can lead you in the right direction. And
Yeah.
from the beginning, it was like I wish I had that, but now we're creating that, and we're those people who can inspire those getting into the field. So that would be my thing. Have your systems in place, have a good support system, don't overdo it, and just really plan smart when it comes to your business for sure.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Absolutely. All right. Here's my closing. They didn't hear my closing, y'all. So here's my closing.
Here we
Y'all
go.
ready?
No.
Okay. That's a wrap on today's episode. If you got value from this, drop a follow on Instagram at the PetX Network. Hit subscribe on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and YouTube. And then make sure you share it with a fellow pet pro or pet parent or anybody in the pet industry. All right. So if you are also looking for a community to build and grow with and you haven't joined Petlanta, what are you waiting for? Tap in with pet pros just like you, and let's continue to build better pet businesses together. Together.
Yay. I love it. I love
Till ne-
it.
Good deal. Till next time, everybody. This
Bye
is the PetX
now.
Podcast.